My name is Bianca, and if you are interested in knowing how to live on a budget, this is a vlog that you gotta watch. So stay tuned.
Dacă cere sufletul, de ce spunem nu și nu spunem de ce nu? Oh, dacă cere inima, de ce nu când putem spune pur și simplu da? Merge, eu am încercat.
As I said, my name is Bianca. I am a Romanian student which is currently enrolled in the University of Babeș-Bolyai in Cluj-Napoca, but I'm originally from Bucharest. And what I am very well known among my friends is for actually being poor, even though living the best life that you can ever imagine. And if you are wondering how am I doing that, because my friends were always wondering how am I doing that, I decided today to do a vlog talking about my experience, everything that I managed to do until this step in my life that was helping me into having as much as I can. Today I'm gonna talk about my experience in France and how to go in Erasmus, basically for free. So a little bit of introduction about my background story, where I applied and why did I choose this one. After a long process, I applied for the University of Babeș-Bolyai in Cluj-Napoca in the business faculty, because I saw that they have a lot of partnerships with universities all over Europe and also all over the world. And the most important was a partnership with a double degree of a French university. I was saying to myself, oh my god, this is like the greatest opportunity. I mean, I'm doing something that it's more of what I like. And I was telling to myself, okay, this is such a great opportunity, I'm definitely going to apply. I applied and I did my first year. In order to participate for the Erasmus contest, you have to finish the first year of the university with a medium average of at least 7 out of 10 and to pass all of your exams. It is not that difficult in order to apply. I know that for a lot of university the competition might be way stronger, but in general in Romania schools have a lot of partnerships and people are not that much applying, surprisingly. In the second semester I went for the presentation of the Erasmus program and I was very interested in the idea of going to France. And I found out that if you want to do the double degree, it's something that you apply in the last year of the university, whereas I wanted to go for the second one. And the double degree, it's something that you do for a full year in the third year. So because I wanted to go in the second year, I said that okay, I will try to look for another destination. And I had some friends that really wanted to go to Spain, so I told myself, why not? I went there and it was a nice experience. I wouldn't say that it was the best one because I didn't like the school that much in Spain, but I think that I will explain it in another video why I didn't like it. So I really wanted to go again in the destination that I always wanted, France, for the language. And I have two options to go. Either is the University of Bourgogne in Dijon, either is the University of Savoie-Mont-Blanc in Chambéry. I was doing my research and Chambéry seemed to be kind of a very small city for me. Because of this, I chose the university here in Dijon, which is a private school with the rank of a Grande École. If you don't know what Grande École is the highest rank of the schools here in France. BSB, it's in top 20, so it sounds like super cool, the idea. Yeah, sure, why not? And what the school here in Dijon had was wine tourism management. I said okay, I'm coming. I cannot tell you how cool the idea of studying the wine was, because we were doing the ABC of becoming a sommelier. Like, we learn how the wine is prepared, but also how to taste the wines and how to appreciate the quality of it. At the end of my course, I passed one exam, which is called WSET 1, level 1, and it's a certification at international level in the wine industry, which I had it for free. And hold your horses, this is around 600 euros per module. Here I had the opportunity to do it for free just because I am an Erasmus student. It's the European Union that is paying for me. One of my biggest fears when I decided in my first year of university to not apply for France was the fact that I was 100% sure that I could not afford the life. It's quite expensive. I would rate it as one of the most expensive countries in Europe. When you're applying for Erasmus, the program was created in order to permit the access for the students to have international education. And what the European Commission is doing by supporting this program is to give, first of all, financial support for the ones that are willing to go in such an exchange. The financial support states in paying the courses, so you have basically zero tuition fee when you're enrolled in a program from the moment that you receive the scholarship. It's the European Commission that is paying for your studies, which is great because you have no idea how much a year costs in this school that I've been doing my Erasmus. Supposing that I would have to pay everything, it would cost me the price of my apartment that I live in Bucharest. So yeah, I don't want to pound my kidney to pay this school. So it's a great opportunity for everybody that wants to have access to international education, because you don't have to pay the tuition fee. Besides on the fact that you don't pay the school, the European Commission is giving you money to actually go there and to be supported from the financial point of view. For the countries that have a lower income per capita, the amount of the scholarship would be around 400 euros, whereas in the countries that are more expensive, with a higher GDP, the amount of the scholarship is 500 euros per month. To this, if you are a beneficiary of social aids in your university, like my case, ask from the European Commission from an additional social aid, which is around 200 euros per month. In total, I received 720 euros each month for coming here. This is my budget for living in France. They are giving you the money 70% before your mobility, and the rest of 30% you receive it when you come back and you show the papers that you passed your exams, that everything was fine, and so on during your Erasmus, because they want you to actually be engaged and participate and learn from this experience and not just run away with the money. I find it like a fair trade. I received around 2,300, 2,400 for 4 months, 4 months of living here in France. Erasmus is not paying for your accommodation and for your food, but they are paying for your studies and they are giving you the money so that you can manage for yourself. Coming here in France, I had no idea what a journey is, with good or bad, both of them. But I have to tell you something. France, like, believe me, France, it's the paradise for students. I actually made a list and I will pass through all of them so that I'm making sure that I don't forget anything. Okay, I will start with the flights. There are some cheap options to fly in here, and Wizz Air and Ryanair are literally your best friends. Like, flights starting from 12 euros. Okay, without the luggage. If you add the luggages, then yeah, you can get up around 40-50, but you just have to download the applications and to buy it directly from the application. Don't go for travel agencies. Those are not the future. You can find it for way less. Second, where are you going to stay in France? You definitely have many options. Renting in France, it's kind of expensive. Now it depends on the city, because the one that I'm living in, it's like average but cheaper in France. It's not a big city. If you go to Paris, renting can range from 500 to 1,000 euros per month, depending what do you want to rent. Here in the city that I am in, renting would be around 300 with utilities included. So I think it's acceptable if you are willing to pay. What France has is something very similar to what we have in Romania called cămine studențești. Usually for us in Romania, student dorms are something that the university is managing. It's something in each university, in each city, and you're applying in your faculty. But here in France, there is like a national institution. It's managing all the student dorms, and it's called CRUS. Here you can find very cheap renting facilities. Usually the prices are kind of the same all over the country. I have a friend in Paris. Remember when I said that the renting it's 800 euros per month, like usually in average. She is paying 250 in Nanterre, which is literally like 15 minutes from Eiffel Tower, and for me it's wow. Now I'm in Dijon. Here you have two main campuses for the cruise. So one is at the University of Bourgogne. It's a little bit more far away from the city center. You take the tram around 15-20 minutes. For me it's not a big deal, but for people that are coming from small city it might be. They have three types of rooms that you can rent. The cheapest one is small room without a bathroom, so it's just the room where you're sleeping, and the kitchen and the bathroom are shared in common areas. It costs you 160 euros per month. The second one is the type of room that I have, which is outside of the campus, inside of the city center, and very close to BSB, the school I've been studying. And I pay 250 euros per month, and I don't have a bathroom, like it's again shared, but the rooms are way bigger, and I made a little bit of a room tour, which I will insert it in here. I would say that it's not of a fair trade because it's 100 euros in plus to not have the same facilities just because it's in the city center, but in my defense I would say that I didn't know that I can apply for the other one, which is 160 euros. And the other one from the cheap range, it's again at the University of Bourgogne, and it's 254 euros per month. A room like kind of like smaller, but with a bathroom. So you have your own bathroom and just the kitchen, it's in the shared room areas. The advantage of living in the campus is that you have all the facilities for the students. So even though it's far from the city center, having the cantina and so on would be quite good because it takes a lot of your time, like just going to the cantina. And also there are other types of rooms that you can rent with higher prices, which would be starting from 300 euros, maximum would be around 500 euros, which are basically apartments. You have even your own kitchen in the room. But in my opinion, it's not that worth it. Like, I would choose that one just for the sake of being in the campus and having student life, because the conditions that you can have for this type of residences for the price, you can easily find it in renting. It's just up to you. Oh, the cruise in Paris, that it's also very cheap, it's called Cruise Nanterre. Again, in the area of accommodation, I would like to talk about something called CAF. And if you don't know what CAF is, it's okay. Nobody knows until they come to France, but when you come to France, this is like a super big deal. It's called Caisse d'allocation familiale. France has a system in giving social aids, like everything. Like they support everybody. They give money to everybody. If you are a student or a person in need, you can demand from the government a deduction from your accommodation price. Even if you are renting an apartment and your apartment is eligible, because some of them are not. I cannot tell you exactly why I was not in an apartment because I have a room in the student dorms. How is it going to work? You go there, you complete your file, send them the papers that are demanded, and after that they will calculate an amount which is between 20% and 80% from your renting. This money are sent to the owner of the place, in my case to the cruise, and after that they have to deduce from my renting. So in the end, I just pay less. My rent is 250 euros, and because I have double social aids, like I have the social aids from my school, Bursa Socială, and also the social aids from the European Commission, also because I have a bourse here in France, like the Erasmus scholarship, then I am allowed to receive the maximum amount of the money that CAF is giving, which is 80%, which is 220. So basically I'm supposed to pay 30 euros per month for rent. If you are willing to apply for CAF, I have to tell you from the start that it's complicated and you have to have a lot of patience. I recommend meditating and not getting angry when you're applying, because the system is very bad. Now I have literally 5 more days and I didn't receive the money and not even the password to access my account. But it's okay, like, but you're gonna get the money. I promise you, like, most of the people got their money. You have to be quite unlucky if you don't receive it. Once you receive it, it's very cool because it's allowing you to pay way less for your renting, and it's something that you have to apply as soon as you move in. Like the day you sign the contract for the apartment, you go to the CAF website and you apply, because it takes a lot. And besides, if you wait like too much, you're not going to receive the same amount of money. Like, for example, I arrived here in January and I applied 2 days after I moved in. For the month of January, like for the first month that you apply, you don't receive the money, but after that you will receive for the month of February, March and April. But if you apply in February, you're not going to receive the money for February, you're going to receive only for March and from April, and so on. So you have to be quite quick when you do that. Now that we talked about accommodation and not living on the streets in France, which I don't recommend because I did that once, but this is a story that I'm gonna tell another time. We have to talk about food. And again, thank you. Because you have no idea. You don't pay anything for eating in this country. I'm gonna insert a video in here about how I haven't been paying almost nothing. First of all, you have the student cantina. When I arrived here, the menu at the cantina was 3.4 for one course, which is usually a combination between something like mashed potatoes with some meat and some vegetables, and after that some appetizer like a salad or some ham, some cheese, so on, a dessert, fruits, yogurt, cake, croissant, and some bread and some like sauces, everything that you want to buy. 2 weeks after I arrived in here, the president announced that they are going to make all the menus for 1 euro. 1 euro. 1 euro. Everything that I told you, you can get for 1 euro. And you're allowed to take 2 meals per day. Like more food that you can eat in one day. I cannot. If I'm taking 2 menus, usually I'm eating 1.5 for the whole day, and I'm keeping some of the other stuff for the breakfast next morning. It's insane. Second point for eating in France, food distributions. Right here, this corner is going to be with a lot of stories on my Instagram, which, by the way, if you follow me, sometimes, not always, but sometimes I post very relevant content for you, how to live on a budget, and I'm gonna leave my Instagram in here. There are several associations or NGOs that are very interesting in supporting the youth. So for that they provide food. And basically every week you can have access based on card. You make a subscription when you become a student. You make a request to the university that you are enrolled with and telling them, hey, I don't have the best financial situation, and after that you book an appointment with them. You go there, they analyze your file, and if you don't have like a good financial situation, they will give you an amount of food that you can access every week. Like once per week you can go there and you can grab as much as you can. I've been volunteering to this specific center from the university that is distributing the food, and I found out that the things that you can have in there are actually coming from a banque alimentaire, which is like the food bank of the city here. People are just simply buying some stuff and they are living in there so that it can be afterwards distributed, or the stores are donating the food to the Red Cross, and after that they are giving it to people with disabilities, with all elderlies, with students, and so on. Another way that you can have food distributions, sometimes they send emails to the students. You don't have to have the account, you just have to live in the cruise. So that's one advantage of living in the student dorms, that you have access to a lot of food distributions, because cruise is considered something for the poor students here in France. You just go there and you complete a Google Docs and you stay in the row and they will give you free food. Free food. And the third way to have access to the food distributions and so on, it's actually buying them, but it's for a price of nothing. Like, there is a shop in the university where I'm doing my groceries every Tuesday. I go there with my friends and we have, based on the monthly subscription, access to buy in limited quantities, of course, some basic products, like, I don't know, fruit, vegetables, oil, flour, pasta, rice, anything. But sometimes you can have like great stuff. Like, I found a lot of cosmetic products and for, I don't know, 3-4 euros, like a price of nothing. And you can find the video in here with everything that I found and how much I paid. Follow me on Instagram. Oh, also, when you're living in the cruise, sometimes you might find other NGOs and associations that are just sharing food for free for the student in need. For example, I have an Algerian friend in here, and because I'm quite close to her, she has some other friends that are volunteering for a Moroccan association, and they are sharing every Tuesday some, I don't know, maybe a few slices of pizza or a taco or some bread or some meat, anything that a student might need. Living in a student dorm and in a student area here in France, it's very beneficial for your budget. I don't know how to explain that, but I mean, now that I'm trying to think, for example, I am going once a week to the shop. I buy everything with an average of, let's say, 4 euros, because I take a lot of stuff. So let's say like 4 euros for the food, then maybe 2 or 3 times to go to the canteen, and I'm taking 2 meals, like for food, which per month is like 60 euros for it, and all the other money from the Erasmus are literally going to a lot of pointless stuff that I can buy. So you can literally live with a budget of 60 euros per month for the food. The rent, I paid around 30 euros, so it's 90 euros. Like now, I just finished my exchange and I'm going to leave, and I still have 700 euros in my bank account. And in the first 2 months, I didn't know about all of these facilities, so basically I was paying full price for a lot of stuff. So yeah, that's why I spent a little bit more. Now that I know, I want you to know it also, because it's incredible. If you don't have access, or you don't know, or you're in the first day and you don't know who you ask in order to have access to the food distribution, cantina, and so on, here in France there are like quite comparable prices in the food with Romania, and you can do your grocery shopping either at local markets, either at Lidl and Aldi. These are 2 supermarkets where you can have like very cheap products with a good quality. I mean, I don't think that is bad compared to other shops like Monoprix, which is very expensive. Casino, very expensive. If you go to France, don't buy from Monoprix and Casino or Franprix. Then you have Carrefour, more or less, it works, and Intermarché, more or less. Yes, and if you wanna buy household and houseware and random stuff, like that type of stuff that you don't know that you need, like a pot of like a spoon or some lights to put it in a room and some random flowers to decorate. I would recommend you two stores. First of them is Action. I will put a picture in here. And there's another shop that I discovered, and it was literally in front of my residence, like there, and it's called C'est 2 euros. Like, it's 2 euros. Everything there is 2 euros. Everything that I had for household and so on, I bought it from Action. Or I brought it from Romania. I brought around 30 kilos of luggage package, including a mini oven. Like, let me show you. I have an oven. I mean, it's not an oven. It's an air fryer. But okay, so you can have in the city that you live monthly subscription, which if you're a boursier, it's usually half of the price, half of the full price. Here in Dijon, it's around 15 euros for the people that are boursier. But as far as I understood the status of being boursier here in France, it's something for those that are enrolled in this university, not for the Erasmus students. But in some cities you can access it, even if you are not a boursier, just if you're a student. If not, you have young people prices, and you can have it in the public transportation, sometimes in Flixbus. In Ryanair, you can get some plane discounts when you are an Erasmus student based on the ESN card, and you have to go for the ESN association of the city that you are applying the Erasmus in and to demand your card, and you will get 15% of every flight plus free luggage as long as you book 28 days in advance. And lastly, the train tickets in France. There is something called carte jaune, and you do it at the beginning of January. It's like the cheapest option, and based on this you pay like 30% less of the price or 50% less of the price of the train ticket. Normally this is 50 euros per year, but if you do it in January it's cheaper, and I paid 25 euros for it. And even during the COVID I managed to use it, because if you do like one trip Dijon, Paris and so on, with this one it's cheaper. The last and not least, it's the student prices and student activities and events that are organized. When you're in the cruise, you can get easily invitations for participating in social gatherings, or today we're doing a cooking atelier, and you can just join and you can cook with other people and have the food for free. Or I don't know, games night. In BSB, we had some student associations. One of them is called Melting Pots, and they were doing some gatherings and trying to create activities so that way the international students get a little bit more integrated in here. Then also it's ESN, they were organizing every week activities. I guess there are a lot of opportunities to meet other people, and me during the pandemic I was not feeling alone. I came here for the Erasmus thinking that, oh my god, I will not talk with anybody, and I will spend all my time in my room and I will have no friends. And in the end, grace to this type of association and events that we had, I managed to meet a lot of people, which with COVID it's like very hard. Oh, and something that I didn't have access to, but if you are a student that wants to go in France like all in, not for Erasmus, there is something called a bourse from the Ministry of Education in France, given for the Romanian students. I'm quite sure that it's in other countries as well, but for Romania I can guarantee you, because we are like having like France, Romania. Once you get accepted, it's open every year, like a contest for applying for scholarships, and you have to send them their CV, your portfolio with everything that you did so far in life, and a letter of motivation explaining them why do you need the scholarship and how are you going to invest it in yourself and how is it going to help you for the development, and also a letter of recommendation from one teacher that you had in the school. If you get accepted for this scholarship, it's around 1,000 euros per month. And also they pay for your studies, so you don't pay the university and you have a quantum of money that you get to spend even if you're not Erasmus student. It's something that only France is giving to the students. Now, as I said, my experience in here, it's kind of done. And even during a global pandemic, I think that I had a lot of opportunities. In order to compare it with my previous experience in Spain, I think it would be better to create another video, like comment or I don't know, send me messages or let me know in any other way that you want if you would be interested in seeing something like that. Anything else about my experience here in France, I would invite you to just leave it in the comment box and I will answer to you. I will be more than glad to help you. I really hope that you enjoyed my video, and for all my friends that supported me, always encouraged me to create my first video on YouTube, I can only send you all my love. You know who you are, and I dedicate this to each one of you. I'm gonna cry. Thank you very much. If you're not my friend and you decided to spend your past 10-20 minutes of your life watching this video, means a lot for me that you appreciate, and if you didn't appreciate, let me know what I can do better for my videos, and I'm looking forward to share more information. Can have advices on how to travel on a budget, how to eat on a budget, how to do everything on a budget, because you know how it is said, when you're good at doing something, don't do it for free. I hope YouTube will pay me one day for doing that. But until then, I want to also leave a message for every young people that are dreamers and maybe they don't have the biggest possibilities or the biggest support, to never give up. Always try to work and aspire for way more. Follow your dreams, work for them, because even if you don't have possibilities, as long as you don't give up, I can guarantee you that you can succeed. If I manage to do that, I can assure you that you can do too. I was Bianca, and thank you very much for watching. See you in the next episode. Bye.